You see me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What's up, y'all? What's going on? It's your girl, you know what I'm saying? Pew, pew, pew. If you had 3 minutes to break the mold, what would you do? What would you say? If you know me, you'll know that I have a lot to say. So, the producers of this show, they gave me a time limit. 3 minutes. So in just 3 minutes, I'd love for us to discuss diversity, what it really means, and who's been left out of that definition. And now it's time for, you guessed it, facts and stats. Did you know that the entertainment industry tends to portray autistic characters as either inferior or inspiring? Although being inspiring can be inspiring, it can contribute to harmful stereotypes and myths. Did you also know that a recent study found that only 14% of adults on the autism spectrum were fully employed? And this is compared to 36% of individuals with other disabilities. With all this being said, it looks like increasing opportunities for individuals with autism within the industry, within the entertainment industry, can create not only higher job satisfaction, but also create autism awareness and promote authentic representation on screen, off screen, and behind the scenes as well. Today's guest on 3 Minutes with Ifu is none other than Janet Grillo. Janet Grillo is a critically acclaimed filmmaker, Emmy Award-winning producer, and former studio executive. She directed the award-winning Jack of the Red Hearts, wrote, directed, and produced the critically acclaimed film Fly Away. She executive produced the Emmy Award-winning HBO documentary Autism the Musical, and oversaw the production of the cult classic House Party series while she was a creative executive at New Line Cinema. She's a full-time arts professor at NYU Tisch School of the Arts, Canbar Institute of Film and Television. Without further ado, please welcome Janet Grillo to 3 Minutes with Ifu. Hello, good morning, and welcome to 3 Minutes with Ifu, Janet. It's a pleasure to speak with you today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me about your background, your story, your journey thus far.
Okay. Well, I am both the mother of an adult son who's on the spectrum, who is a joyfully grateful participant in Jazz Hands. He absolutely loves the program. I am also a filmmaker and a film producer, and I was a studio executive. I was the executive producer of a documentary that won 2 Emmys, called Autism the Musical. I was the writer, director, producer of a very personal independent film called Fly Away, which tells the story of a mother confronting the adult future of her autistic child. So I've had a hand in telling stories about living with and loving a child on the spectrum. I also am a professor at New York University Film School, and I teach neurodiverse students. There's more and more every year students who self-identify who are on the spectrum, and I feel really privileged to be able to guide them in their path.
Tell me why you felt like telling the story of autism through film is important. Why is that important?
Well, first of all, that's my medium. In the case of why did I make the first film, Fly Away, at that time, there were not neurodiverse storytellers who were stepping forward and expressing their experience. And I found myself at a dinner party sitting next to a very well-intentioned woman who was herself a therapist. And I said, well, my son is autistic. And she turned to me and said, what's his talent? And I just felt like, wow, this is one of the myths, the savant genius. And of course, wonderful films contribute to that mythology. Rain Man, it's a wonderful movie. But if there's not a wide variety of presentations made, then everybody in the general community will think that every autistic person is a savant. In Fly Away, I intentionally made the character different from my own son because I felt that I had the right to tell my story, but not the right to tell his story. So I created a real distinction between him and his journey and the characters.
So tell me a little bit more about how you prepared for Fly Away, right? Tell me about your process behind that.
I felt that if anybody's going to tell this story, it should be me. I'm going to be somebody who really understands to the extent that anybody who doesn't have autism can understand. We had support from the autism community. We had people around us who were supporting us who were part of the project from the community. The value of collaborating with neurodivergent storytellers, not just as a director or as a writer, but on the crew, is an important step. There's certain kinds of circumstances and conditions that you want to make sure are conducive to them doing well. So educating and the professional community to understand the value of hiring neurodiverse people, both behind the camera and in front of the camera. And so we've been trying to do that through Producers Guild.
Basically, you not only did you have your own lived experience, but you also made sure that you had an advisory board of people from the autism community kind of informing the film. One thing that I'm receiving from this conversation is that not only is representation important for the actual neurodivergent individual, but also like you as a parent on the Producers Guild have been championing making sure that that other producers are being educated. So thank you for your work. And I hope that we can continue to collaborate to create more and more conversations surrounding the importance and the value of neurodivergent talent at all different points within the entertainment industry. It's possible, like you mentioned, to tell the story across the difference, but it's important that story is being informed individuals on both sides of the bridge.
And I want to thank you as an incredible advocate. Look at all the work that you're doing and have been doing for so many years and will continue to do.
Thank you so much, Janet. This has been great.
Thank you.
This has been
my pleasure.
Very robust and full conversation. Thank you so much.